StudentPreneur, the podcast about students who are entrepreneurs. Get motivated and keep your energy high with stories from studentpreneurs.
This episode is sponsored by ID Network, a network of university associations run by studentpreneurs for studentpreneurs. Visit idnetwork.com.au. Welcome to episode 5. My name is Julian Marchand, entrepreneur turned PhD student. For 3 years, I've been studying students who are entrepreneurs, and I get told not to waste my time with them. They should drop out of uni and build their business, like Jobs and Gates did, right? Well, what they don't know is that the first thing that Jobs did after dropping out was to go to a calligraphy class. And 10 years later, with the first Macintosh computer, he designed the first computer with beautiful typography. Each week, I bring you the best of those individuals who are student and entrepreneurs. This week, our studentpreneur is Taylah Hasaballah. Hi, Taylah. Great having you today. So, you've run several businesses with high five figures revenue while studying in high school and computer software engineering at university. You're also a regular conference speaker on social media, and you went through the iLab Accelerator program in Brisbane. You're now 20 years old and starting a non-for-profit for women in tech. Can you tell us a bit more about this new venture?
Sure. So Go Women is something that I started along with 2 other women. We kind of recognized that there was a lot of gender imbalance, I suppose. Myself, in my degree, there was only one other female in it. There was about 90 people.
Oh my God.
And yeah, one of the other girls had a similar story. So we kind of were asking ourselves, why are all these young girls not enrolling in computer science or software engineering or courses like this in high school, since that rate is declining? And we thought maybe it's just that they don't know what it's actually like. Maybe they just see a lot of stereotypes and a lot of things, and they don't actually understand what it is. We kind of started this website up as a voice, I suppose, for women to speak about their experiences firsthand, as well as just create a community around it so girls can see what it's actually like to work in computer science. They can have more information to make their mind up about what they want to do.
So are they sharing stories of the actual work that it takes?
Yeah, so we're going to do things like interviewing women in tech about experiences and all different things so people can get more of an idea, I guess, about the actual work and what the environments are really like. Because it's a great industry to be in. It's just, I can't understand personally why more girls don't do it.
Yeah, 2 out of 90. That's not enough. It sounds like a great podcast theme.
Yeah, so it's a website. It's go-women.org, and it's just like blog posts. It's updated regularly by the 3 of us, as well as we're hoping to get more contributors soon.
Okay, well, hopefully all the women listening to this podcast will go on the website.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can you tell us how and when you started your entrepreneurial journey?
So my entrepreneurial journey officially started when I was 17, and I had a startup called Taylah Hasaballah, which was a friend and I buying clothes from op shops and selling them through Facebook.
Oh, so to your friend or to anyone?
Oh, to anyone. Yeah, anyone could buy them. So we made a Facebook page back when Facebook pages still had reach and all of that.
Oh, those good old days.
Yeah, back when it wasn't Facebook pages. But anyway, so we did that to sell vintage clothing. And that's kind of where it began. Accepted into the iLab Tech Incubator.
Hang on. How did you think about vintage clothes? I mean, was it part of your passion before, or what was it? Yeah,
so I guess I always loved going to op shops and buying clothes from there. And I had like a couple of small vintage clothes kind of businesses when I was still in high school. But I'd never really made like a bigger one, I suppose. And then my friend, she wanted to do this, and she names because she knew that I'd done it a few times before, and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it with her. So that's kind of how it happened.
Okay, so you had a co-founder with you, and that gives you a bit more strength to do it.
And as well, just when I'd done it before, I was in school, so I had limited resources, and I had limited time. So once I was finished school, I was able to, be a bit more flexible about when we could go find the clothes, and I had a car, which made it a lot easier to get around than taking the bus.
Definitely. All right, cool. And then you said you got into a German program.
Yeah, so we applied for the iLab Germinate program, got a position into that, which allowed us to build a website and I guess just scale or try and scale a bit more. We still found it really difficult though to source the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
The vintage clothing industry is a bit tricky in that the clothing is sourced by vintage sourcers if you want to actually scale and get larger. Otherwise, you could go out and buy it yourself, but that's very time consuming.
It will be.
They sell it in lots of 500 and you don't get to pick what you get.
So you don't know what's in there.
Yeah, and generally they give the better things to the bigger clients. So it's actually very hard to get the products that you need.
And hang on, that was just after high school that you got into the accelerator program. Were you the youngest there?
Yeah.
Yep.
We were the youngest by a lot. Yeah.
And I remember a story of when you did the interview to get in there.
Oh yeah, it was the day of my maths exam, which I ended up failing, but I passed the interview, so I guess that's the important part.
That's the important part, yeah.
It's funny, I wrote the slide deck and everything for that the night before, and I had no idea what I was walking into. And yeah, I went in, Claire wasn't there. Was super intimidated by the fact there was all these business people sitting judging my slides, but I don't know, it must have worked.
But you got in. What's the average age in the accelerator program?
I wouldn't know. What it is now. When I was there, there were lots of people who were in their 30s, lots of people in their 20s. We were definitely the only 17-year-olds.
Wow. But so that was useful, and so you built a website, but then you realized you couldn't really scale this business.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble scaling. It wasn't the demand was there.
Yeah.
We continually sold out of all of the products. The problem was that we could never get enough clothing, to continually grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran into problems with that.
So what happened? What did you decide to do?
Well, Claire decided she wanted to be focused more on fashion designing. So she went to study fashion and left the business. After that, I had the choice of do I stick around and try and make this work or do I leave? So I stuck around for a bit and explored the option of designing our own lines and doing that kind of thing. But I think that the collection still sold out, but we had the same scaling issues because of onshore manufacturing and not being able to figure out a way to get enough clothes.
Yeah.
And at that time too, university was getting pretty intense with software engineering.
That little detail.
Yeah. So I kind of decided that my passion was in software and that was what I really wanted to be doing. So I decided to shut down the business and focus more on tech and businesses that don't require distribution or manufacturing.
Well, at least you learned something.
Yeah, definitely.
So you went back to your studies, or did you start something else?
I tried to just go back to my studies, but I started something else. So I convinced 4 other software engineering students a product search engine type thing with me.
So people from your classroom?
Yeah, so because it was funny, in the iLab incubator, was that we could never find developers to work with, and then I remembered that I study software engineering and I'm surrounded by developers to work with. So the next project I decided that it's something that's going to appeal to developers who want to work on it, or else it was really hard to convince people to work on a vintage clothing website because they weren't interested. But as soon as it had cool algorithms and it was solving bigger problems, people were actually really excited by that. So,
oh wow! So you learned the trick to get them involved.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about working in a bigger team. I guess as well, that was probably the first bigger thing that we'd all tried to build. So obviously it was a little bit tricky at the end. We had parts written in Java, parts written in C, and we were trying to get it all to come together. We realized it doesn't quite work like that. But yeah, so that one wrapped up, and then the algorithm worked though, but then we got to the end and we were like, so what do we do with this? It was the exact opposite. We had all of the guts of it there, but no
market,
real idea of who wants to,
no market. Wow.
Yeah, so then
but it was really cool though.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was cool. But yeah, so after that one, then I worked with just one friend on a product. It was like an online marketplace. And that one's live at the moment. I guess life came up. We both got jobs. So
oops.
We haven't been growing it as much as we should. But it's ticking along.
But you've worked with your co-founder previously, right?
Yeah, we worked together in that bigger project, the second one.
Okay, all right. And so what happened? You got a job offered. How did that happen?
I guess I needed to get my work experience days for my engineering degree because you have to have 60 to graduate. And I was interviewing with Google associate product manager role, which it's pretty cool. You kind of get to be, you still get to, design product about a lot of the same problems that you have to solve when you're doing startups, which I really love. Except you have the benefit of working with some of the best engineers in the world. So that part's really exciting too. Yeah. And I did that as an internship. Absolutely loved it. Applied to convert for a graduate role and I got that one too. So I started in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you haven't finished uni, but you already have a job at Google.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
Yes. And do you think it's one of the reasons is because you've been curious before, you'd been trying different things and running businesses before, or do you think there's anything to do with it?
I think definitely a lot of the skills that I use in my role during my internship, I figured out through having startups. I think studying computer science taught me the things I needed to know technically, but being able to apply them in startups and work with engineers and think about trade-offs and designing products and what users want and things like that, that's the stuff that you just can't learn at uni.
Thinking about the user.
Yeah.
And then you think you got that from selling vintage clothes?
I think everything, I took a lot of lessons from everything. The vintage clothes taught me, I guess, the power of marketing when you get it right and when you have a product and just how valuable it is when you have a lot of goodwill around you and then staying true to that. The second project taught me about when you have a lot of resources, how to manage them and where to put them and a lot of the things not to do when you're trying to manage a lot of engineers on a bigger project. The third one taught me about focus, I guess, just when you have a smaller team. It's actually sometimes better. And we were really, really strict on our vision and what we built and our deadlines. And that's why we ended up building it and shipping it. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of different ways to approach building software. You learn something new every time you try a different way.
Wow. And it looks like you're getting the best of both worlds, right? You've got the company, but also the startup mindset as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great.
All right, and so you only have a few months left of uni, but can you share with us how you've been able to manage studies and your businesses?
Very difficultly, I guess. I always prioritized uni because I guess that's your degree and it's really important to get, in my opinion. I don't know. Anyway, so for me, I always kind of, if a business got too demanding or if you got too demanding, uni always won out. And I guess I just had my priorities in my head like that.
Yeah.
And I knew how much I could balance with my time. Had to be very organized with remembering when things are due and remembering to do the right things when you have to.
Yeah.
But for me, the businesses loved doing them. So it never felt like work and it never was. So I was happy to, spend as much of my free time as I could doing them.
Yeah.
I think if you love it, you'll just make it work. I know that's the worst and most annoying advice because it's not really actionable. But yeah.
So yeah, and one of the reasons that you were still running your business is because you loved doing it. You didn't think it was work, but you actually worked all the time, your studies and your business.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
But I mean, it's so exciting. I was building the website last night for the new project for Go Women.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to bed till 2 a.m. even though I knew I had uni first thing in the morning, just because it's so much fun when you're starting something new.
Yeah, it's exciting.
This side and launching it and getting it ready.
Yeah, you got that buzz. And because you've done it quite a few times now, you know straight away what to do and what not to do.
I know a lot of what not to do.
Not all of them, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you learn more every.
So you just said that you learn through, making some mistakes, but how do you learn and what do you recommend? Do you read books, podcasts, blogs? What helped you?
I've listened to pretty much every video on the internet about entrepreneurship.
Okay, all of them.
Probably, yeah. I absolutely love listening to podcasts or or interviews with people, things like that. Whenever I have like a long commute every day, or I'll be going over my data, listening to things on YouTube all the time.
Do you want to share a few that you follow?
So all the TechCrunch videos that they post. Yeah, those are the main ones. And then I kind of went to MIT and some of the business ones that they have, some of the software ones. Went through this stage where I was obsessed with figuring out how computer networks were set up for different companies, I guess.
Of course.
Like system design kind of ones, but that's not super relevant. Oh, well, it's a bit to entrepreneurship. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many great things and there's so many smart people out there that if you just explore the internet, you'll learn a bunch.
So did you listen to Stanford eCorner podcast?
I don't like subscribe to any of them. I just find them on YouTube.
Ah, okay. You find them on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, podcasts would be a lot better for my daughter, though. I should probably start doing that.
Yes, it would be.
Streaming videos that I'm not watching.
Streaming videos, yeah, not a good idea. All right, cool. Anything else that you use to learn?
I guess just mentors and like people that you meet. You know, it seems like there's so many people out there that are really happy to give back and to help you and ask, like, if you have questions, to answer them or give you some time. So I think for me, another thing was that I always made an effort to reach out to people when I had the opportunity to meet them.
When you say reach out,
just like say hey, ask them if they're free to chat, things like that.
Okay, by email or when you were in a conference or something?
So I guess I've never like done the cold calling thing. It's mostly just if I meet people who I would like to talk to.
Yeah. Is there some cool people that you talk to in conferences?
Yeah, definitely heaps. I guess some of my top ones, I spoke to Steve Wozniak when I did a conference. We both spoke at a conference last year, and to chat with him afterwards, which was awesome.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Well, when you get the opportunity to talk to people like that and build a little bit of relationship like this, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. And how did you meet your mentors?
I guess just through through conferences, through iLab, through going to social things. Just by saying yes and going to things and when you get the opportunity instead of not going. I think networking is really important.
Did you put yourself in a situation for networking, such as using meetup.com, or how did you find yourself with those people?
I used to go to a lot of pitching things, and then I used to also give a lot of talks on social media. I still kind of do. So through that, I spoke at the same conferences as a lot of people, and you just meet them through that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and if you're a speaker, that's even easier to talk to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And did you rely on anybody else and your mentors to support you through schools and through your businesses?
I think the mentors that they set you up with mentors when you're at iLab. That was really useful because you had a wise head to kind of use as a sounding board for the decisions you were making and to guide you, which was really good. Yeah, but I mean, like I don't know if I've had any uni mentors. Oh, I guess like I've had some great lecturers that have been really helpful.
Oh, so you had lecturers that were useful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just about the people you surround yourself with and reaching out for help if you need it.
Yeah, being able to reach out, But so do you end up having a lot of girlfriends around you that are entrepreneurs? Because you were saying there's less women in tech and in entrepreneurship. Not
particularly, to be honest. Like, not really at all. There's just not a lot of women in tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of my friends are still males.
Now, if you surround yourself with entrepreneurial people and tech people, well, you won't have that many women. Well, at least you're working on it, and you've got a website for that, so that's good.
Yeah.
You're trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to give us an example of one of your tough time or one of the failures that you had on the way?
One of the tough times. Oh, one of my failures. Okay, so after Tiger Temple, I didn't really talk about this, but I had a business that I was going to start. It was an importing one. So it was basically Tiger Temple, but with a way to scale. And it was called Vogue Hunter. And all the photos were set. We're selling the stock. Things were going great. And then I realized the photographer hadn't signed off with the modeling agency to get like permission to use the photos of the model.
Oops.
Because she'd told me she'd checked it all. She hadn't. And yeah, so I had to pull the whole site down.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then because of that good old thing called uni, I didn't have another chance to reshoot. So it was, yeah. I bought myself a new wardrobe.
Because of course you'd bought all the clothes to do that. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, so that was that's probably my most epic fail. I guess
Yep.
just not checking up on things and not being careful enough.
Yeah. And not having a lecture on law and contracts and copyrights.
Well, I took her word for it. She told me
Yeah.
that it was taken care of, and I figured she's a competent person. She can take care of it, but yeah,
Yep. Sometimes it doesn't work.
lesson learned.
Lesson learned. All right. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That's really, really helpful. Do you have a call for action, or do you need anything from the listeners? Like, for instance, signing up for your new website, Go Women?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you support women in tech, you should definitely check it out. It's www.go-women.org.
.org. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Thanks.
Cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it for me.
Excellent.
Definitely just give everything a go. Like, yeah, if you're thinking about doing something, just do it and see how it goes. Don't be afraid if you don't know what you're doing, because nobody does.
Nobody does. Because you actually told us about the few things that you did, but you did much more than that. And you're just telling us about the highlights. You tried a lot of things.
Yeah, I did. I reckon there's so many different approaches to being an entrepreneur. Some people spend ages planning and looking into things. I went for the don't spend ages planning, just check if it's a good idea, run with it for as long as you can, and then fail as fast as you can, and then start again.
Yeah.
And yeah. That way is all right, except when you have to tell people that you're starting a new thing again, and they're like, this is the 50th time I've heard from you that you're starting a new business. So if you can get past that, then yeah. I'd recommend that approach.
And what do you hope you're going to do at Google? Is it going to be Google Australia or?
Yeah, so it's Google Australia. Yeah, I don't know what team I'll be working on yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a big fan of a lot of the products, so I'd be happy with anything.
You're going to learn so much. Like, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you think you're going to be able to resist the urge of starting something new?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like, because you still get to things,
Yes.
even if it's not a startup. There's so many different ways that you can apply the same like thinking and things like that yeah, it's, if you just keep an open mind.
Yes. Oh my God, it sounds so much fun. Well, all the best. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy your next job.
So much. It's great speaking to you.
Thank you. Time for a quick wrap up. Each studentpreneur story is different, and what works for some people doesn't for others. However, I'd like to point out a few things in Taylah's journey that are similar to a lot of studentpreneurs I have interviewed for my research. First, she started a lot of ventures. She wasn't scared to fail. For instance, she started something with vintage clothes 4 times. But as she said, she failed fast and was able to adapt and try again. Because she started so many ventures, she accumulated a lot of experience very quickly. Second, she reaches out for help when she meets other people while networking. And also, she relies on her mentors. Yes, mentors again. Finally, she's another example that running entrepreneurial activities while studying can open some big doors, like a job at Google Australia. Alright, thank you so much for your time, Taylah, and all the best in your next adventure. If you enjoyed this podcast, please review us on iTunes with 5 stars and share it with other like-minded studentpreneurs. Catch next episode of Studentpreneur on Wednesday next week. Meanwhile, keep breaking the stereotype and the mindset.